What if I told you that everything you've been taught about wealth is a lie? That the real currency isn't in your bank account, it's in your decisions, your time, your impact. You're not broke because you lack money. You're broke if you're not living on purpose. And every day you delay your purpose, you're making the most expensive mistake of your life, because true wealth isn't about income, it's about impact. In today's world, people are waking up to a powerful truth. Money, fame, and possessions no longer define true wealth. We're entering an age where fulfillment, meaning, and impact are becoming the new measures of success. You see it everywhere. Young professionals quitting six-figure jobs to chase passion projects. Seasoned executives leaving corporate towers to start community-driven initiatives. Artists choosing creative freedom over commercial fame. This isn't a trend, it's a transformation. It's a sign that people are realizing life is too short to be spent on things that don't matter. And at the core of this shift is one critical revelation. Purpose is the most valuable currency you have. Purpose is not a job title. It's not a business card or a follow account. Purpose is the reason behind the reason. It's the engine that drives you when motivation fails. It's the internal compass that keeps you grounded when the world around you is shaking. The moment you understand that your time, energy, and attention are investments, not expenses, you begin to treat your life like a portfolio. And in this portfolio, your greatest asset isn't your bank account or your resume. It's your clarity of purpose. You were not born to just work, pay bills, and die. You were born with a unique potential, a specific design, a contribution only you can make. Yet most people spend their entire lives investing in everything but that. We invest in comfort, approval, trends, and titles, hoping they'll bring us peace. But peace doesn't come from outside. It comes when you're aligned on the inside. That alignment is purpose. Without it, success feels empty, and hustle becomes a trap. But with it, you become unstoppable, not because you have all the answers, but because you know why you're in the game. See, the modern world sells us a dangerous idea that the more you have, the more you're worth, that your value is tied to your income, your image, your lifestyle. But here's the truth. Wealth is not what you collect, it's what you contribute. And purpose is the currency through which you contribute at your highest level. When you live on purpose, everything you do becomes an investment in something bigger than you. Every conversation, every decision, every failure even, has meaning. It's no longer about chasing success, it's about creating significance. The question is not, what do I want to do with my life? The real question is, where is my life best invested? Because you're already spending your life. Every second, every day, you're making transactions, paying attention, spending energy, giving focus. The only difference is whether you're investing it in what truly matters or wasting it on what doesn't. Imagine your life as a bank account. You only have a limited number of withdrawals before the account closes. Would you really waste those precious investments on things that bring no return, on distractions that don't align with your deeper calling, on pursuits that make you busy but not better? It's time to shift from spending your life to investing it. And investing requires intention. You must know what matters to you. You must define your core values. You must identify what legacy you want to leave, because once you're clear on your purpose, you'll begin to say no to what's urgent and yes to what's important. That's how you build a meaningful life. Not by doing more, but by doing what matters most. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire nations, start movements, shift cultures. They're not always the richest, but they are the most impactful. Why? Because they invested their lives into purpose. They understood that real influence doesn't come from status. It comes from significance. And significance comes from serving something greater than yourself. Not in theory, but in action, day by day, step by step, brick by brick. When you operate from purpose, you unlock a different kind of energy. You stop living on autopilot. You stop settling for comfort. You start building with conviction. Your actions carry weight. Your voice carries power. You no longer compete, you create. You no longer conform, you lead. Because purpose makes you magnetic. It gives you clarity when others are confused. It gives you resilience when others give up. It gives you peace in the midst of pressure. And most importantly, it gives your life direction. But purpose doesn't come by accident. It must be discovered, it must be clarified, and then it must be protected. That's the key. Most people don't lose their way because they don't have talent. They lose their way because they traded their purpose for popularity. They forgot their why in the noise of what's next. Don't let that be you. Purpose is not found in the spotlight, it's found in the stillness. It's that inner conviction that refuses to be silenced. You must guard it. You must nurture it, because it is your most valuable possession. Let me ask you something. If someone offered you $1 billion, but you had to give up your sense of purpose forever, would you take the deal? Most people would say no. But here's the contradiction. Many people give up their purpose every day for far less than that. For a little comfort, for a little praise, for a little security. And they do it because they haven't yet realized that purpose is priceless. And the tragedy is not dying poor, it's dying full. Full of dreams, full of gifts, full of unused potential. Because purpose was never invested. So how do you begin investing your life where it matters most? First, take inventory. Ask yourself, what am I building? Where is my time going? Who am I becoming? These aren't just reflection questions, they're direction questions. Second, align your daily decisions with your deeper values. Purpose isn't just about big goals, it's about consistent alignment. Third, cut the noise. Not everyone will understand your mission, and that's okay. Your purpose is not a group project, it's your unique assignment. Protect it. Finally, remember this. Success can make you popular, but purpose makes you powerful. Money can open doors, but purpose builds bridges. Fame can get your attention, but purpose earns you respect. You were not designed to just exist. You were designed to make impact. And the currency that fuels that impact is not income, it's intention. So the next time someone asks you what you do, don't just talk about your job, talk about your mission. Talk about the change you're here to create. Because that's where true value lies. Not in what you have, but in what you're doing with what you have. You are the investor. Your life is the capital. Purpose is your portfolio. So invest wisely. The world has lied to us for far too long. It has equated wealth with accumulation of things, of accolades, of social approval. But we are waking up. We're beginning to understand that real wealth is not about accumulation, but contribution. What you gather may build comfort, but what you give builds legacy. A luxurious life might impress people, but a purposeful life transforms them. That's the difference between image and impact. Too often, people climb the ladder of success only to find it leaning against the wrong wall. They chase titles, bonuses, promotions, yet feel hollow when they get them. Why? Because external success without internal significance is never enough. It's like drinking salt water to quench thirst. It looks like it should satisfy you, but it only leaves you more dehydrated. That's what happens when you pursue achievement without anchoring it in purpose. The truth is, you don't need to be rich to be wealthy. You need to be valuable. And value is measured by impact, by how deeply you affect people, how much better you make your corner of the world. Your ideas, your energy, your time, they are all currencies. But like any currency, they only gain value when they put into motion. Hoarded potential benefits no one, but activated purpose changes everything. Start asking yourself, Where am I investing my energy that gives me no return? Are you spending your best hours on tasks that don't move you closer to your calling? Are you giving your emotional energy to people who drain you instead of support you? Are you saying yes to opportunities that feed your ego but starve your spirit? These are the questions that shape not just your career, but your character. Because what you say yes to reflects what you truly value. You see, every yes is an investment, and every no is a protection. When you say yes to purpose, you say no to distraction. When you say yes to impact, you say no to comparison. When you say yes to legacy, you say no to trends. That's how the truly successful operate. They filter their choices through the lens of legacy, not popularity. Let's talk about success for a moment. The old definition of success was control, consumption, and comfort. But the new definition is clarity, contribution, and character. People don't just want to look successful, they want to feel fulfilled. They want their work to matter, their story to mean something, their time to produce fruit, not just noise. And that's why purpose is trending, because it answers the one question money can't. What am I really here for? Purpose isn't glamorous. It's not always Instagrammately, but it's powerful. And when you find it, you begin to live intentionally, not reactively. You become strategic about your relationships, your goals, your schedule. You start eliminating the unnecessary and doubling down on the essential. You stop chasing attention and start creating value. That shift is the difference between exhaustion and momentum, between burnout and fulfillment. Because let's face it, busyness is not productivity, and productivity is not purpose. You can be efficient at the wrong thing. You can be talented in a field that doesn't serve your future. You can win trophies in a race you were never supposed to run. That's why clarity of purpose is more powerful than any credential. It helps you say, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is why I matter. Now let's get practical. How do you live a life that reflects this truth? Start with audit and alignment. Take a hard look at how you spend your time and energy. Where do you feel most alive, most used, most effective? Your purpose often leaves clues in the places where you naturally bring transformation, where your presence creates a shift. That's not accidental, that's intentional design. Follow that trail. Next, move into intentional action. Purpose without execution is just potential. Don't wait until you're ready. Start now with what you have, where you are. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs purposeful ones. Take small steps toward meaningful outcomes. Write that idea down. Make that call. Start that initiative. You don't need a stage to make impact. You need consistency. Third, commit to purposeful boundaries. Not every opportunity is for you. Not every connection is aligned with your mission. Learn to protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. The more focused you become, the more distractions will try to seduce you. Don't fall for it. Remember, being busy is not the same as being purposeful. Fourth, build a purpose circle. Surround yourself with people who are also investing their lives with intention. Iron sharpens iron. Impact grows in ecosystems. Your environment matters. Choose to build with people who speak the language of vision, who hold you accountable to your potential, and who won't let you settle for comfort over calling. Lastly, think in terms of legacy, not luxury. When you're gone, what will people remember? What will they say about how you lived? Not about what you wore or what you drove, but about how you showed up, how you inspired, how you gave. Because at the end of the day, you don't take possessions with you, but your impact lives on in people. Purpose is not about being famous. It's about being effective. It's not about going viral. It's about going deep. And it's not about reaching everyone. It's about reaching the right ones. So shift your metric of success from numbers to names, from followers to influence, from moments to movements. The truth is, you already have enough to begin. You don't need a spotlight to make a difference. You need clarity, courage, and consistency. And once you start living from that space, everything changes. You begin to attract opportunities that align with who you are. You begin to speak with more authority, move with more intention, and live with more peace. Purpose simplifies your life. It removes the unnecessary. It redefines progress. It rewrites your definition of wealth. Because when you know your purpose, you no longer chase validation, you embody value. And value is the highest form of currency there is. So if you're tired of running in circles, if you're done with empty goals, if you're ready to stop merely surviving and start truly living, then it's time. Time to reframe how you see success. Time to change the way you spend your days. Time to stop trading your life for things that will never fulfill you. It's time to invest your life where it matters most. You've heard it said time is money, but here's the deeper truth. Time is life. Every minute you spend is a piece of your existence you'll never get back. And while money can be earned, saved, invested, or even recovered, time cannot. That's why purpose must be your guiding principle for how you spend your days. When you understand this, you stop asking, how can I make more money? And start asking, how can I make more meaning? Because meaning is the real multiplier. When you live on purpose, even small actions carry exponential impact. A kind word becomes a lifeline. A single idea becomes a breakthrough. A moment of courage becomes someone else's permission to rise. That's what it means to live intentionally. You stop moving randomly. You start living like every choice is a seed. And over time, those seeds grow into a legacy far bigger than you. Let's be honest. Purpose isn't always easy. It requires sacrifice. It demands focus. It often means walking a path fewer people choose. But that's also what makes it powerful. Purpose filters out distractions. It eliminates the irrelevant. It reveals what really matters and dares you to build your life around that. When others are chasing trends, you're cultivating truth. When others are managing impressions, you're building substance. You become more than productive. You become aligned. Purpose removes the noise from your life. It silences insecurity because you're not comparing yourself. You're committing to yourself. It silences fear because you're no longer just chasing outcomes. You're living in alignment with your calling. Purpose gives you the courage to say no when it's uncomfortable and yes when it's scary, because you're no longer making decisions for applause. You're making decisions for impact. This shift is not about perfection, it's about progress. You don't need to have every answer. You just need to be anchored. Anchored in the truth that your life has meaning beyond your paycheck, beyond your job title, beyond your social media profile. Anchored in the awareness that your presence has power, and that when you align that power with purpose, you don't just exist, you elevate everything around you. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people who know why they're here and are brave enough to act on it. Your purpose is not a luxury. It's not a bonus you earn after success. It is the blueprint for everything that matters. It is the soil where your gifts grow, the compass that guides your vision, the fuel that sustains your resilience. Without it, even success will feel like failure. With it, even obstacles become opportunities. So how do you make purpose a lifestyle, not just a concept? You begin by designing your life with intention. Start each day with clarity. Ask, what would a purpose-driven version of me do today? Then act on it. Build routines that support your mission. Build relationships that sharpen your vision. Build habits that feed your future. Don't just work for money. Work from meaning. Don't just chase goals, align them with your greater contribution. And remember this, purpose is not found in the extraordinary. It's revealed in the everyday, in how you show up, in how you serve, in how you lead, listen, grow, and give. Purpose shows up in the effort you put into things no one sees, in the way you carry your integrity even when it costs you, in the way you treat people who can't do anything for you. These are the currencies of a purpose-driven life. So stop waiting for perfect timing. Start using what you already have. Your experiences, your challenges, your ideas, they're all tools in your toolkit. And when directed by purpose, they become instruments of transformation. You may not control every circumstance, but you do control how you respond, how you build, and how you show up. That's where your power lies. Not in your status, but in your strategy. Not in what you've accumulated, but in what you're committed to. You see, the wealthiest people on earth are not the ones with the most money. They're the ones with the deepest sense of meaning. They wake up not just to earn, but to express, to expand, to evolve. Because ultimately, purpose is not about what you do, it's about who you become. And becoming takes time. It takes consistency. It takes the courage to walk away from things that feel good but don't do good. The courage to say, I'd rather be significant than seen. I'd rather be impactful than impressive. That's the real wealth. Purpose changes how you define success, how you make decisions, and how you measure your days. It elevates your conversations. It makes you a better leader, a better friend, a better creator. It transforms your grind into growth, your hustle into harvest. But none of that happens until you decide that your life is too valuable to be lived by default. You have to choose design over drift, clarity over chaos, legacy over luxury. And once you do, you'll never go back to the old way of living. You'll no longer be satisfied with temporary wins. You'll be committed to eternal returns, the kind that outlast your name and outlive your timeline. Because in the end, it won't matter what you earned, it will matter what you did with what you were given. Did you invest your voice? Did you invest your talents? Did you invest your time in something that mattered? That is the only wealth that counts. So from this day forward, live like your life is capital. Spend it with intention. Align it with values. Fuel it with courage. Multiply it through action. And measure it not by income, but by impact. Because the richest life is not the one with the most possessions, it's the one with the most purpose. You've been given the greatest currency of all, your life. Don't spend it where it won't grow. Invest it where it will matter most.